Yo, what's up, guys? This is Coach Mr. E. We absolutely love bringing you the best call center training videos, and we also know that you love watching and learning from these videos. So take a moment to like, click, and subscribe to get the latest notifications on new call center training videos. Now, watch this video that's up next. Hey, everyone, good morning. Today's class is on interview questions. Our topic is conversational fillers to manage job interview questions. This is part 2 of our lesson. In this second part, we will explore vocabulary for a job interview in terms of answering job interview questions. Expected job interview questions, like tell me about your weaknesses, and unexpected job interview questions. For example, what do you think about getting a tattoo? So the objective of this class is to enrich your vocabulary with new words, new phrases, to have a natural conversation with the recruiter or in your next job interview opportunity. And if you are already an agent on the phone, speaking with customers, then it'll help you enrich your vocabulary and manage conversations with customers. We're going to begin. Well, the class will be divided into 3 parts. We'll start by listening again to the audios, the responses. Then I will proceed to explain vocabulary in the second part, and we'll wrap it up with some practice time with some questions that we prepared for our team members that are joining us live. So everyone, welcome everyone. Hope you have a great weekend. Let's get started with listening to the job interview questions that were provided last time. So last time we prepared a couple of questions.
Oh,
Let's see if we
yeah.
can get
You
them
know,
rolling.
Hi, I'm Adam. Thank you for taking this video call. I also understand you might feel a bit nervous, but let me tell you, it's only normal. Anyway, let's get started. You will hear a series of screening questions for a call center job interview. After the sound, you'll have 1 minute to provide your answer. As a tip, try to sound natural and conversational as you respond. Let's begin. 1. Have you thought about living and working in Canada? 2. What do you think about working and studying at the same time? 1. 3. Do you have any weaknesses? 4. When was the last time you took a good vacation? 5. How do you feel about working from home? 6. What company has the best customer service in your country? 7. Have you ever thought about getting a tattoo? 8. Why are young people and adults attracted to working for call centers? 9. What would you save in a burning building situation?
oh, yeah. I've actually thought about living and
You are muted, teacher, coach, you're muted.
Thank you. Happens. Let's listen to the example responses and today's focus is on vocabulary. We already discussed the fillers. Today, we're going to focus on learning the words, the expressions, different terms that she's using here, vocabulary, natural conversation vocabulary. So let's listen. Pay attention to that part.
oh, yeah. I've actually thought about living and working in Canada. It seems like a cool place, I mean, the maple syrup, the friendly people and all. But, I guess the cold weather might take some getting used to. You know what I mean? Well, working and studying at the same time, that's a good one. I guess it's kind of like multitasking, right? Like you gotta juggle work and studies, but I believe it can be super rewarding. Gaining experience and getting an education, it's like killing 2 birds with 1 stone in a way. Weaknesses? Let me think. Well, I guess one weakness is that I can be a bit of a perfectionist. Like I want to make sure everything is just right. You know what I mean? But I'm working on it, and I think it can also be a strength, like paying attention to details and stuff. Oh, the last time I took a good vacation? That's a tough one. Well, I guess it was like a year ago or something. I went to the beach with my friends. It was kind of like a chill vibe, just relaxing and enjoying the sun. I mean, everyone needs a break from the hustle, right? Working from home, huh? Well, it's like a mixed bag, I guess. On one hand, you got the comfy pajamas and no commute, which is awesome. But on the other hand, it can get kind of lonely, you know? Like, I miss the office banter and stuff, but hey, I guess it's the new normal. Best customer service in Guatemala? Let me think. Well, I guess, like, everyone has their own opinion, right? But I've heard, like, good things about XYZ company. They're, like, always on top of things and really friendly. I mean, who doesn't love good customer service, right? Getting a tattoo? Well, that's a cool topic. I've actually thought about it, you know? Like, maybe something small and meaningful. But I guess I'm still deciding on what to get. It's a big step. You know what I mean? Young people and call centers? Interesting. Well, I think it's like a great opportunity, you know? Call centers offer flexibility and a chance to develop communication skills. Plus, the environment can be kind of vibrant and there's like room for growth. It's a good starting point, I believe. Saving stuff in a burning building? Oh, wow, that's a tough one. I mean, obviously people and pets first, you know? But if I had to save like a thing, I guess it would be like my laptop. It's got all my memories and important stuff, you know what I mean? But safety first, always.
All right, awesome. So I've included for the materials on page 2, 3, and 4, the vocabulary I'll be discussing and example definitions, which you can read afterwards. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go very quickly over the expressions and the vocabulary that was mentioned. So let's start with our first response. So in terms of the question, what do you think about working and living in Canada? Our candidate, let's call her Amy. For some reason, I think she reminds me of somebody called Amy. Let's call her Amy. So Amy says, I mean, the maple syrup, the friendly people and all. But like, I guess the cold weather might take some getting used to, you know what I mean? So in our last session, we discussed the importance of conversational fillers. Like she's starting off her response by gathering her thoughts, and she gives herself some time to think by using phrases like, you know, I mean, and she concludes her statement by saying something like, you know what I mean, like, and I guess. So all of these are just filler words. The real content or the real meaning to what she's trying to explain, and the time that she, I mean, the reason why she used the fillers was because she wanted to get to the key words she wanted to say. So here she mentioned the maple syrup. Canada has as an emblem, and the national leaf is the maple leaf, which I'm sure you've seen it in as part of the Canadian flag. So the maple leaf, it comes from the maple tree, and the maple tree produces a special kind of honey. When honey is produced not by insects or bees and is produced by a plant, it's called a syrup, a syrup. So Canada's one of Canada's main exports is its maple syrup. And that's one of the reasons why Canada is famous. And she mentions that as part of her answer. She continues to make a list, the friendly people and all. The things that she knows about Canada are let's say the cliche things like maple syrup, and people in Canada are known to be friendlier than people from the United States. At least, you know, that's a common cliche. And she finishes by saying, and all. The phrase here, and all, means everything. So I mean the maple syrup, the friendly people, and everything else. That's what she says here. That's what she means by saying and all. So I could say to you, you know, one of the reasons I like, some of the reasons I like going to McDonald's is because I like McCafe and I like the hamburgers, you know, and I really like the grounded coffee and the service and all. So I'm just, and everything else, you know, that's what it means, everything else. She continues by saying, like, I guess the cold weather might take some getting used to. So might is a modal verb, which means possibly, which is a very low possibility. It's similar to saying may. She continues by saying, might take or will possibly take some getting used to. Here, she's using the modal-like verb expression, which is formed by using get, the verb get, plus the modal verb used to, plus a verb in the base form. This special structure, this special modal verb, expresses the idea of something that you have become familiar with. So we use it to express the idea that something or someone has become familiar to us, or we have become acquainted with the situation or the person. So it's not something strange. We have gotten used to. So I'll give you an example. So Camila, well, we'll say it like this. So after 3 months on the phones with customers, Camila got used to dealing with difficult customers. So in this example, Camila got used to, that means that she got familiar, she got acquainted with the situation of dealing with customers. Here, notice that I use the verb get in the past tense. Get is an irregular verb, so I changed that to got used to dealing with difficult customers. So here I used it with a progressive form as well to express that idea. So it's not that it was something that she did in the past and she stopped doing, like we normally would use the verb. Here it means that she's familiar with it. It's not something new that or uncommon. Let's go to number 2. Her response for number 2 is in terms of the question, work and study. Her response here is like this. She says here, I guess it's kind of like multitasking or multitasking. The term multi means many, and task, which is a duty or responsibility. So what the word multitasking means is doing or handling many tasks or activities at the same time or simultaneously. So in a call center, you'll have to talk to customers, operate applications, leave messages. You're going to have to do all of these things at the same time, all of these tasks. So call center work involves multitasking. So that's the definition of that term. She continues by saying, like, you gotta juggle work and studies. Here, the verb juggle, G-U-G-G-L-E, it means to balance work and studies, just like somebody juggles by throwing things in the air and catching them without dropping them. So it means to balance your work and studies. You got to juggle. She continues by saying it's super rewarding. When something is super rewarding, it's just a colloquial expression meaning very rewarding or very satisfying. Rewarding comes from reward. The base form is reward. A reward is some kind of prize, some kind of incentive for doing something. So if I rescue a dog that has been lost and I receive $100, that would be my reward for rescuing the dog. She continues by saying, you know, gaining experience and getting an education. So you gain experience. Here, the verb is gain, G-A-I-N. That means to obtain experience. So when you work in a call center, you gain the experience of working with customers. Number 3, the question about dealing with weaknesses. So a weakness, in the plural form here, weaknesses, refers to something that you are having opportunities with, or something that particularly you're not that well at, or it's something that you need to develop. Perhaps you don't have the skills or the correct training for it. So perhaps you could say that, let's say, typing, you're not a good typist, is your weakness because you don't do it as quickly as others. You don't have or you need to improve the skill.
Huh?
Could we turn off the microphones, team? Thank you. Continues by saying, I can be a little of a perfectionist. If a person is a perfectionist is a person that always wants to do everything right or correctly or at 100% without any types of mistakes. So she says that having this type of attitude can be a weakness sometimes. She continues by saying then, but I'm working on it. When you're working on it, when you're working on something, it means that you're improving, you're trying to improve it. So she's trying to change her attitude about being a perfectionist. She mentions that maybe it can also be a strength. A strength, make sure not to pronounce the letter G, otherwise it'll be strange. Strength is something that you are good at, or you possess skills, or it's a natural talent for you. So maybe it's a strength, or it's a good thing that she likes paying attention to details and stuff. Here, stuff means things. Number 4, talking about the last vacation trip. She says, she describes it as it was kind of like a chill vibe. Chill is informal, or an expression that the ordinary man will tell you to describe something that is relaxing. So a chill vibe, a vibe could mean an environment or an atmosphere. So it was a relaxed atmosphere. And we were just relaxing and enjoying the sun. When you enjoy the sun, that could be that you're sunbathing or just enjoying being outside where the sun is. I mean, everyone needs to take a break from the hustle. The hustle refers to the everyday routine, the fast speed in which we live our lives today. Some people call it the rat race. Everybody's running like rats to get to their jobs and do what's necessary in this modern life. Number 5, talking about the idea of working from home, she says that it's a mixed bag. This is an expression that could mean either two things. It could mean that there's a different culture, different things, different unexpected things. Like working in a call center, you'll work with people that are older than you, younger than you. You'll work with people with different cultures or ideas. So you get a mixed bag of people, mixed types of people. Or it could mean the positive and negative sides of something. So it's a mixed bag. So let's talk about the pros and cons, the positive and negative. So there's a positive side to working from home, but there's also a negative side. So she says it's a mixed bag. Then she uses the phrase, on one hand, you got your comfy pajamas and no commute, which is awesome. But on the other hand, it can be kind of lonely. So the positive aspect is you can wear casual clothes like pajamas and no commute. No commute means that you don't need to take your daily journey. That's a commute, a journey from point A to point B. That means work, home. That's a commute. So that's the positive side. But on the other hand, she says it can be lonely because you don't have people or friends around you. Like I miss, so we say on one hand, to make a contrast, I mean, on one hand, which is the positive, but on the other hand, we introduce the negative. So that's how we use it. And she continues by saying, I miss the office banter and stuff. Office banter refers to informal chit chat or conversation that you would have with your colleagues at work about, gossip or about work things or your life, just that daily relationship with your coworkers. 6, customer service, best customer service. She continues by saying, I've heard good things about XYZ company. So I've heard is the past participle and present perfect of the verb hear. I've heard, which is that participle of hear, which means at some point, You know, I heard at some point, I've heard good things about XY company. So why did you choose to apply to Alorica? Well, I've heard it's a good company, or I've heard you have a chill vibe. So that means that at some point you read, somebody told you about this place. They're like always on top of things and really friendly. When you are on top of things, literally it means to be above, but this is an expression which means to be aware of, to be attentive, to paying attention. So a, a story, a call center story, during payday at the end of the month, um, everybody was on top of their payment app, their Banco Industrial or BAC app. So everybody was checking their app all day. Bah, bah, bah. They were on top of it. They were being very attentive to the notifications because they were waiting for the notification of their payment. So everybody was on top of it. So when you are on top of your things, that means that you're very attentive or aware of it. So this month, I want to be on top of my diet. I want to be on top of my English. I want to be on top of my work. So that means you're very attentive to it. Not unexpected question, getting a tattoo. Here we use the collocation get with tattoos. So we get a tattoo. We don't say I'm going to obtain a tattoo. I'm going to get a tattoo, which means to get ink on your skin for the rest of your life. That is to get a tattoo. I do not have tattoos, right? I'm not just in, that's not my thing. Now she continues by saying, like maybe something small and meaningful. So she's describing the type of tattoo that she would like to get in the future. So she would like a small tattoo and with meaning. And she's describing it as in the adjective form as meaningful. So let's say a family picture or a family portrait, like the one I got over here, can be meaningful. Even a piece of paper. So my son, for a presentation, had to talk about his favorite colors, and his favorite color is turquoise. So he cut out a little heart. So he said, look, that's my favorite color. And I said, wow, that's great. So it becomes meaningful, the pictures, the memories, and even the little piece of paper, because you give it the meaning. So tattoos are like that. You know, people, they get all philosophical. Like, oh yeah, I got a tattoo of the name of my grandma because it reminds me of how good she was with me, and they got all these stories about it. So that's meaningful. This is a good one. She says here, it's a big step. A big step. It's a phrase, an expression which means it's something very important. It's a big decision. It's an important decision that you need to make. So an example, I've worked as a teacher prior to joining the BPO industry for many years, like almost 16 years. When I decided to change my career and join the call center industry, it was a big step because for a couple of years, I pondered about it. I thought about it. My friends were telling me, you should try it. You've got great English. You have knowledge. You will do great in that industry. But I was so in love with my teaching job back in the day because I had a comfy office and it was nice and everything that I wanted to be a coordinator or principal the rest of my life, I thought. But I decided it was a big step for me. So moving on, leaving my old job and moving on to the call center industry was a big step for me. And by the grace of God, it turned out to be a fantastic decision in my life. But I had to think about it if it was right for me. Number 8. Let's see. Number 8. People working at a call center. What do you think about that? Young people and adults. So she describes it as a great opportunity. So yes, any type of job that they give you or they offer you is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to learn new skills. It's an opportunity to gain experience, right? It's an opportunity to meet new people, etc. So it's a great opportunity. She refers to call centers as offering, she says they offer flexibility and a chance to develop communication skills. Plus, the environment can be kind of vibrant and there's room for growth. It's a good starting point. So, call centers offer, that's the verb. Call centers offer flexibility, different schedules, the chance to develop, to obtain, or to grow in communication skills, talking with customers, all of that. Plus means here in addition, right? In addition or additionally, the environment can be kind of vibrant. Vibrant means energetic, fast paced, or with many things happening. So it's not like a boring job, right? It's vibrant. There are many things going on. And there's like room for growth. So where is room for growth? That means in a job, in a career, it means that you could grow to grow within the company or to ascend to different types of positions. So you can you can do the position of a supervisor, of a temp supervisor, of a QA. If that's not the thing, then you can grow differently. You can become a trainer, you can become a recruiter, you can work in accounting. There are so many departments where you can grow in. And she finishes by using the phrase, it's a good starting point. A starting point is the initial point where something begins. So let's say that you are in university to become a professional translator, if that's your thing. So you decide to work for a call center for a couple of years because it's a great starting point for your professional career, because the call center will offer you the chance to develop your communications in English. It'll give you the chance to develop your speaking, the chance to develop your listening, your chance to develop your vocabulary for business, and the chance to develop your general communication with native speakers of the language. So it's a great starting point for many people that want to become translators. In the case of young people that are going to have their first job opportunity, it's a great starting point because you gain work experience, you gain knowledge, you gain new skills, right? So it's a great starting point for people. And for people, adults like myself, that want to change careers, it's a good starting point to begin a new career or a new profession. Just like I've had in my last courses, I've had adults that have been, let's say, a secretary. I know of a couple that were secretaries like 20 years. They worked for 20 years as a secretary, right? And they got to a point where they wanted to change their career. So they changed their career to working at a call center. And it was a good starting point for them so they could restart their lives and reinvent themselves. So for adults, it's also a great thing. And let's wrap it up with number 9, which is saving stuff in a burning building. So the question was, what would you save in a burning building situation? So normally we would save our things, our important things. Here, saving comes from the verb save, S-A-V-E, which means to remove something or someone from danger. So if there's a fire and the fireman breaks into the house, and to remove the people and the pets from the danger of the fire and smoke, then the fireman saved the people and the pets. So in this question, what would you save? She says, well, saving stuff, saving things. She says that people and pets first, right? That's obvious. But she would also save important stuff. Here, stuff means things, like a laptop, for example. And stuff is a noun. It's a noun that does not have a plural form. So it's incorrect to say stuffs. That's incorrect. So I'll give you a contrast. So you say, I'll give you a sentence example. I have a lot of things to do. You can say it differently by saying, I have a lot of stuff. to do. I have a lot of stuff to do, which means I have a lot of things to do. It is incorrect to say I have a lot of stuffs. I have a lot of stuffs to do would be incorrect use of the word because it does not have a plural form. It is an irregular noun, an abstract noun that does not have an S form. So it's just stuff, whether it's one thing, 2, 3, or 5 things that you need to do. Okay, so that's the wrap up of the vocabulary in this lesson. Now, let's listen once more to the responses now that you have the vocabulary. I don't know if somebody has any questions before we move on. Does anybody have any questions? All clear?
Yes, coach. Okay.
Okay, awesome. All right, now let's listen to the job interview responses now that you have a clear definition of the vocabulary used in the responses. Let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Adam. Thank you for taking this video call. I also understand you might feel a bit nervous, but
Okay, let's listen to the responses.
Oh, yeah. I've actually thought about living and working in Canada. It seems like a cool place, I mean, the maple syrup, the friendly people and all. But, I guess the cold weather might take some getting used to. You know what I mean? Well, working and studying at the same time, that's a good one. I guess it's kind of like multitasking, right? Like you gotta juggle work and studies, but I believe it can be super rewarding. Gaining experience and getting an education, it's like killing 2 birds with 1 stone in a way. Weaknesses? Let me think. Well, I guess one weakness is that I can be a bit of a perfectionist. Like, I want to make sure everything is just right. You know what I mean? But I'm working on it, and I think it can also be a strength, like paying attention to details and stuff. Oh, the last time I took a good vacation? That's a tough one. Well, I guess it was like a year ago or something. I went to the beach with my friends. It was kind of like a chill vibe, just relaxing and enjoying the sun. I mean, everyone needs a break from the hustle, right? Working from home, huh? Well, it's like a mixed bag, I guess. On one hand, you got the comfy pajamas and no commute, which is awesome. But on the other hand, it can get kind of lonely, Like, I miss the office banter and stuff, but hey, I guess it's the new normal.
Okay, great. So we're gonna pause it here. We're gonna continue in our second part of the class with our practice. So let's wrap it up here and we'll continue with our, now let's go to the ending. We're gonna finish the call, finally. Okay, so this is how we do it. This is a cool phrase. Once again, my name is, and then you say your agent name, Leo. Once again, my name is Leo.